The Federal Executive Council has approved 56.3 billion naira for the completion of the Abaji Koton Karfe section of the Abuja-Lokoja highway. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, announced this to State House correspondents at the end of the council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja.
Works and Housing submitted two memoranda. The first was for the termination and re-award of the 49-kilometer section of Abaji to Koton Karfe, which is part of the Abuja-Lokoja highway, and it was awarded in favor of Mrs. Geld for 56.175 billion naira. And hopefully this should facilitate the completion of that critical highway, which started in 2006. The second memo was for the revision of the contract sum of the Afon Aboto or Your Boundary Road in Kwara. The revision was by the sum of 251,530,000 naira, which revised the contract sum from 3,060 million to 3,311 million to enable the contractor make provision for drains to replace unsuitable material and to reconstruct damaged shoulders of the road, as well as accommodate some variation in prices.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk, who also addressed the correspondents on the outcome of the meeting, disclosed that the Council approved over 2 billion naira for the purchase of cattle to boost animal production in Taraba.
Today in Council, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has submitted two memos. One is for the revised estimated total cost for the supply of cattle for Taraba State under the emergency agricultural intervention for states that were affected by conflict and insecurity. And the other memo is on the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking in Nigeria 2022 to 2026.
In the same vein, the Minister of Science and Technology, Obunaya Onu, announced the approval by Council of the revised Science, Technology and Innovation Policy for the country. Onu said that the new policy would help Nigeria to narrow the gap between her and the technologically advanced countries of the world.
Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation presented a memorandum to the Federal Executive Council, which we are so happy that the Federal Executive Council approved. And the memorandum essentially was a revision of the science, technology, and innovation policy for our dear country. There have been tremendous advances in science, technology, and innovation all over the world, and this necessitated for our science, technology, and innovation policy, which was put in place in 2012, 10 years ago, to be revised so that we can keep pace with new and emerging technologies. The main objective is for us to use science, technology, and innovation to improve the standard of living of our citizens and ensure that we have high quality of life for all Nigerians. And this we can get if our nation becomes more prosperous and our economy is more globally competitive.
The Minister of State for Borders and National Planning, Clement Abba, who also briefed the correspondent, said he updated the Council on the recent results of the 2021 fourth quarter GDP released by the National Bureau of Statistics.
It's not to seek approval, but to brief the Federal Executive Council on the results recently released by the National Bureau of Statistics for the fourth quarter GDP, and also some other indicators of the Nigerian economy. According to the report, Nigeria's GDP grew by 3.98% year-on-year in real terms in the fourth quarter of 2021. This shows a sustained positive growth for the fifth quarter since the recession witnessed in 2020, when output contracted by -6.10% and -3.62% in quarter 2 and quarter 3 of 2020 under the COVID-19 pandemic. So this shows an annual growth rate of 3.4% in 2021 compared to the -1.92% in 2020, which is the strongest growth so far recorded in 7 years since 2015. Council was also briefed that inflation rate declined year-on-year for 8 months consecutively since April 2021, but it increased slightly in December 2021, with 15.63% was recorded. However, headline inflation in January 2022 declined by 15.60%. On a month-on-month basis, the prices rose by 1.47% in January, which was lower compared to December 2021, which recorded 1.82%, meaning that inflation dropped on a month-on-month basis.